ago, but I actually didn't become a proper Christian until like August, I'd say. So let's say about a year ago, I was basically just on YouTube and I clicked some random, where you see loads of Christian videos and stuff, such as like truther videos and that. And then I started looking into things like Bible prophecy, and eventually I just ended up turning really after I saw a bunch of prophecies which had come true. Actually, quite a lot to do with the blood moon thing, which was I know it was fake, but which actually happened in 2015. I know it was obviously fake, but it had quite a lot to do with that because that led me to research more into the Bible prophecies and stuff. So yeah, that's really it. There's not really much to say. And then I started looking into loads of theories, like conspiracy theories, as you'd say, and that also convinced me a little bit more because it tied into the prophecies and that. So yeah, that's it really. And then August time, that was when let's say I went through a bit of a rough stage, and then I just eventually gave in, and yeah, then that was how I became Christian. This is loading.
You say that you just recently converted, so what was your background before that?
Well, I was a complete atheist, like complete. And so let's say, actually, to be honest, I was actually more of a troll before I was a Christian. I was actually like similar to. Have you ever seen Atheist Alien on anywhere? Like, if you've seen any of my videos, you might have like seen a comment, some little guy, really annoying, like guy. Basically, I used to be like him. I used to just go around trolling Christians, really, and trolling religious people. I basically a troll. Yeah, I was a complete atheist.
So it was just something that you saw.
No, it wasn't like one thing. It was like it took me about a year to fully like convert, like it, because it was like a year and a half ago, I'd say, when I first started to well not believe, but started to research into it. If that makes sense. So yeah, and then after about a year, like 11 months, I'd say, that was when that's when I actually started to properly believe. I'm honest.
So what do you mean alien
Oh,
atheist?
no, I don't. I'm just saying, it's just this guy. He's called the Atheist Alien. I'm not saying that's what I was like, but I mean, like, basically, there's a guy called the Atheist Alien. All he does is just troll a load of people. He's like some little 13-year-old kid. That's what I'm saying. I was like, I was comparing myself to him because I used to do that. He's just a little kid with a mouth, threatens to dox anyone that he argues with, so on. And he just goes around trolling religious people, and that's what I was like. I just used to troll Christians and Muslims and that before that. So yeah, there's not really much else to say apart from that. I used to go around trolling.
So on the problem of evil,
Yeah.
what was your explanation for it?
Well, mine was a lot of Christians would say this as well. It was in the free will, the fact that God gave us a free will and He created everything. For example, everything that He created, it has an opposite to it. So like good, evil, up, down, left, right. You know what I mean? Like everything would have an opposite, and that also goes and ties into choice, the free will. Because if we have free will, then we have a choice. But if there's just good, you don't have the choice of evil. So they chose to sin, and then it was like a disease, you'd say, like a cancer of sorts. What it would do is it would spread. Let's say on a spiritual level, whatever you'd say. So then, whenever because they were the first two human beings, whenever they would like create another, that would also be infected. As I've said, it's like a disease as such. So yeah, that's where evil comes from. Yeah, God did create it, as I said, But as I said, it all links into the free will.
Are we able to detect in any way this disease?
Detect, right? Well, first of all, what you'd right? Okay, let me explain. All right,
Or
detect.
even like rationally like look at the data in any rational way? Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead, man.
yeah. Well, the well, most people, I'd say, would probably be blind to it. But as I said, like when someone becomes like a Christian, you probably heard the term born again. It speaks like a
Yeah.
spiritual thing. Now, the Bible speaks of some discernment. It speaks of like having eyes to see and ears to hear. It's speaking of a spiritual thing. I'm not claiming that I can see loads of demons or whatever. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is they'd start to see things through a different perception. For example, there's like a spiritual realm, you'd say. That's where the disease would be more evident, I'd say, because it's not like an actual disease, like a sickness. It's like a spiritual sickness which would affect the persona, and not like the physical health of someone. It's more like the
Is
health.
this the concept of sin that you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah, that's what I'm talking.
Okay.
It's talking about the problem of evil. So yeah, that's what I was talking about.
You mentioned free will.
Yeah,
Could I ask, you think that
yeah.
is accounts for sin? But
Look, accounts. Well, I'd say that's what free will is
I
the
mean,
reason.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So free will is the reason it happened.
um, the usual objection to that
Yeah.
is I don't see why it is the case that evil is required. Is it possible for God to actualize agents that would freely choose the good
All right.
without
Go on.
having to actualize evil?
All right, yeah. Well, speaking of that, well, we were, first of all, we were created for basically we were created for pleasure. You'd say, like, to love, and that's what God created us for, to experience that. But He didn't want to have little robots who just like mindlessly started to obey Him because they were programmed to do that.
No, no, I said freely. Is it
Well,
possible for
not
him to? You think that evil has to exist for us to have free will?
right. Well, as I said, as for every like thing you say, He created like an opposite because of the choice again. Say I understand what you're saying, but without good, and if you don't create evil, in a sense, you're not freely making the choice to do good because there's only good. Like, if you
Well,
understand.
yeah. Well, okay. I think maybe you're going down this route. We're
Go on.
both agreeing that what happens is, in virtue of our having free will,
Yeah.
moral evil occurs, and you think that in virtue of our having free will, we can always choose to do otherwise. So
Yeah.
when we choose to do the good, uh, otherwise would be choosing to do evil.
Yeah. I guess that's what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
well? That's what I'm taking you to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
fair enough?
Yeah. Take that. Yeah. That's fair enough.
What do you? Is there evil in heaven?
No, not in heaven. No. No, actually,
Do
well,
we?
yeah,
Do we?
in the old heaven, yeah, because there was a war and the angels. You probably heard of that, the fallen angels and such. But no, actually, no, not now, because we all cast down to earth. No, not now.
What about free? So do we not have free will in heaven?
Yeah, you do. Let me explain. Now, first of all, the concept of heaven, let's say the main concept of heaven, I think most Christians believe that there's just like one heaven, and when you die, you instantly go there. That's not the view. The view is that when there's a judgment day, and when that happens, there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. Now, the old things, such as the old heaven and the old earth, which we have now, they were corrupted with sin. For example, a third of the angels and Satan sinned in heaven, and then the humans sinned on earth. So, thing is, yeah, we
Hey,
will have free will in heaven because when we get
mhm.
the new heaven, it says God will make us perfect. But the thing is, we would have chosen to be like that. If He just created us like that, we wouldn't have chosen it. It wouldn't have been a choice. So yeah, there is free will. We would have chosen to be perfect and get a second chance.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm not like in the thing. I'm gonna comment though. I'm gonna go say, "Hey, Dawkins, what's up?" Come. Oh, he's only got 135 subscribers.
Who's this Dawkins guy anyway? What's his channel?
Darth Dawkins.
Alright.
Jack, did you see the picture? Big city in 20 years.
Which picture?
It's in voice chat.
Oh, the cereal photo.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
yeah. Is Jack the smart one?
So wait, who's still here? Didn't someone go before?
We've got Hal now. He came. Joe's still here. He's just listening though, kind of.
Because someone said they had to go to work or something, didn't they? I just saw it pop up.
So my brother said he's gonna join too.
Alright, cool.
From my phone. That's no way to talk to a lady, Nate. Dog peed again. We should probably take a nap. I'm gonna shower, then maybe we can. I'm just gonna take her for a walk now. Right now? Yeah. Why wouldn't you walk and then take a shower?
Oh. One Christian
You'll
has just
feel
left.
gross after a walk. Wouldn't you? I would. It's sweaty out.
Joe has left.
Yes, Joe left. Oh. Oh, it's only -1 here right now.
Oh, so you even have a Satanist in here.
Yeah, we've got Satanists. We've got somebody that identifies as a permaculturalist.
A what?
We've got theists, agnostics, agnostics. We've got Muslims.
Oh, Joe's back.
We try to promote like a place where people can exchange ideas without feeling too threatened.
Yeah. I once got into a bit of a thing on Twitter, and let's just say a couple of jihadis, not jihadis, but like they sound.
Whoa!
They sounded like wannabe jihadis.
It's too bad we couldn't get Dawkins in here, Jack.
It'll never happen if anybody from my group is here.
I'm sorry, that guy. He sounds like someone off the Drunken Peasants. I don't know why.
No, I don't think so.
And I know he's not, but he just sounds like someone off the Drunken Peasants. I can't remember who though. Who was it?
So the video got 46 views. Comment that I suppressed.
I'm surprised my computer isn't even freezing this time.
Oh man. So what about? Tell us about like how old you think the Earth is and that kind of stuff, and what
How
proofs
old?
do you have?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, as I said, I'm a younger creationist, so I think it's around 6,000 years old. I'm going to explain to you now. All right. I'm pretty sure you're aware of the fact. I'm pretty sure you're aware that, like the sun, it loses mass. It's constantly losing mass, whatever. I'm not sure how much exactly it is, but as I've said, the sun is losing mass. Now, the way the scientists would have you believe that the Earth is 4.54 billion years old. Now, as I said, I'm not really sure how much mass exactly the sun is losing, but like every what second, let's say. But what I do know is that if it's losing mass now, that means that 4.54 billion years ago, it would have been rather, large. Would have created quite a few problems for the Earth. Do you understand? I doubt that the Earth could have even been a billion years old with the amount of mass that it would have had back then. It's just, and not just at the moon. I think it's like the moon's getting an inch away from us every. I'm not sure how long it is, but yeah. The people say that the moon has been there for around. I'm not sure how long. I read somewhere it was either like from like 4 billion or something. I don't know. So again, you'd run into some problems with the tides. Now I understand that people don't believe like humans were there all the time. What I am saying is the Earth would have been, well, first of all, with the sun, would it have even been possible for the Earth to be 4.54 billion years old with the amount of mass that the sun would have had? And second of all, I don't think the Earth would have been habitable because, well, as I said, the conditions would have been changed so much, such as with the moon, the amount of natural disasters which would have been caused. So yeah, that's my take. That's what, and not just that, we're in a state of decay if you look all around the world. So yeah, if that makes sense.
So basically, what you're saying is that the sun would have been so big that it would have been engulfing the Earth.
Something like that, yeah. It would have created some problems, something I'd say. And if it didn't engulf it, I'd say that it definitely would have destroyed the potential for it to actually sustain life, if you understand. Because, as I said, 4.54 billion years ago would have been some problems if it's losing mass now. And it's already pretty big now. Just consider how big it would have been then.
Do you have a response to that, Jack?
I don't understand why he thinks that.
Right, because first of all, the sun is losing mass right now. Therefore, you reverse that 4.54 billion years ago, it would have been rather pretty much, well, an awful lot bigger. As I've said, it would have created some problems. Oh, Joe just got back.
Yeah, we're doing young Earth creationism now. So basically, what Vigilant is saying is that the Earth is losing mass
Not the sun.
now
The sun.
currently.
The sun. The sun.
Sorry, the sun. The sun is losing mass now currently.
Yep.
Therefore, we can extrapolate that back 4.5 billion years and say that the sun would have been larger. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it would have been. Wait, one second. I'm saying either like basically engulfing the Earth, or it would have destroyed the potential for the Earth to, well, actually sustain life. That's what I think anyway. Because, well, as I said, 4.5 billion years is a long time, and it would have had an awful lot more mass.
So, how much? So there you go. From something on the internet too, so you know it's real.
Oh yeah, is he a young Earth creationist or is he like a?
No, he's Christian.
Yeah, no, like, does he believe in a young Earth or does he believe in like a? Yeah, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just checking. Yeah, he believes right. There we go. Right, let me click on the Reddit link. Let me read what it says. How much mass does the sun lose over its lifetime as a main sequence star? About 4 million tons per second from fusion, and it also loses about 1.5 million tons per second. Right, one sec, let me get my link up. Right, first of all, I'm sorry, but how exactly do you know how much it's lost over the time? Now, it's possible to prove that it is losing mass, but I don't really think it's possible to prove how much it has lost over time exactly.
That's exactly true, though. Is that your argument relies on that same
Yeah,
extrapolation of the data?
yeah. I am saying that like a long time ago, if it was losing mass then all that amount of time ago, it would have created problems. Yeah.
So, but you're also saying that you can't
No,
extrapolate data back.
no. What I mean is, I'm saying it's not really that possible to say how much exactly it was.
So if you're saying that there's not a way to detect how much it would be lost, then there's no way to detect how much has been lost.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like the sun. Well, I know that the distance from the Earth is rather, everyone says that it's like the perfect or whatever, but what I'm saying is like it's already pretty big now. So as I said, 4.5 billion years is an awfully long time. So I'm saying you would have had to imagine how.
But so if you actually take the amount that it's losing on average, you know that it's losing mass,
Yeah,
and there is some way to measure that. So if you're extending it over a period of time, you can actually come up with a number, which is what he's saying that they've done,
yeah.
where
Well,
they've said 124 tons of material, which is about 100 Earths, which sounds like a lot, like he said, but is only that percentage of its mass.
right, fair enough. One sec, let me find something.
Is there any other arguments that you have?
Well, I had
for
one about.
younger?
I also had one about the moon as well. I did have one about the
Okay.
moon. The fact that, well, you've probably heard about the fact that the moon it gets like, I'm not sure, an inch away every so many like minutes or something. What I'm saying is, oh yeah, by the way, what I am saying is I think I know that most people don't believe the moon's like there since the whatever of the Earth, but I mean like most people would believe that the moon is like over 4 billion years old. So as I've said with that one, you move that, reverse that one as well. That also kind of creates some problems. Now I'm not exactly saying that these things would have destroyed the Earth. What I'm saying is they would have prevented it from ever being able to sustain life because it would have created the conditions so awful.
So we're actually getting some comments on Facebook right now where
Yeah.
somebody's saying that 4.5 billion years is actually an awful short amount of time in the grand scheme of things.
Well, this is a live stream.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I just joined
I'll
in,
post the
so
link again.
I don't think we've talked with each other, Soldier.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, you saw my message on Twitter, so that's
Oh, it
who
was
I am.
you said
We
that.
should
Yeah, ASOS.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
me.
ask if we can hear Hal. Hal, are you here?
We know.
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Yeah, my point is that the creationists that are speaking haven't bothered fact checking. For example, Joe posted that 1,024 Earths is the mass of. But if you just Google it real quick, it's much more material than 1 trillion tons on the Earth.
So you're saying something about it being 1 trillion tons there?
Oh, okay. I guess it was a typo then.
So basically, that the sun is such a massive body and it's so far away that we already don't have to worry about changes in size this much over periods of time like that, especially. Is there any other proofs that you use?
Well, mostly music. Well, I use both the moon and the something, and I'd also sometimes this one isn't exactly viable, I'd say, but I just note the fact that I'm basically in a state of decay with the world. It's basically we're in a state of aging, so whatever amount of billion years ago, I mean, like, if you understand. Because we're in a state of aging right now, and the Earth, as a lot of people would say, it's getting rather worse. But then again, we've only just started using the technology and that, so that doesn't really count. So yeah, it don't matter.
Oh, I'll be right back.
Wouldn't you need to have calculations to figure this out, though?
Guess you could say that exactly. Yeah, I guess sure you could say that.
So what do you have any questions for us? What are other things that
You're about
you
about the other people or me?
what's that would I think you cut out a bit there.
I said, were you talking to the people in the stream then, or were you talking to me?
Oh, to you, like,
All
did
right.
you have any questions for us? Because there's Earth creation. I think we kind of got just after
Well,
the first thing, we just kind of got hung up.
well, let me think. I'm not really sure what exactly I'd be really asking you because I used to be an atheist myself, so I'm not really sure what exactly I'd ask you. So not really know.
Vigilant, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
I think you explained this already, but
Cool.
was it was it philosophical arguments, or was it just reading the Bible, or what that made you not an atheist? When
All
you
right, not an
converted to
atheist.
Christianity?
All right. Well, basically a year ago, whatever, about 18 months ago, I'd say. It was when I started looking deep into. Well, I started researching it, would say, and I'd follow up various like topics. First of all, I'd follow up the Bible prophecy and stuff like that, specific stuff like that, and eventually I'd start to see the fact that there would be the fact that there are prophecies that are indeed coming true. Now, at first, just titled that to coincidence because I did actually think it would just be a coincidence, but then as I saw like various different ones, because there was one about the because I know that the Bible speaks in parables and stuff like that in metaphorical terms.
Mhm.
So there was one that just saw about, well, the first one, which a lot of people can use, is about Jewish people going to the homeland. That was nothing. I didn't really think much of that. But then I started to look at this other one, which was to do with the Catholic Church, something about the Vatican. It was describing a
Mhm.
beast in Revelation. So then
Oh man.
that's what got me. that's
Okay.
what actually got me rather interested. And
So it
what was
was
it?
prophecy then
Yeah,
that got you
and
into it.
others
Okay.
and
I
other
see.
little topics, all little topics like as well, which eventually got me to believing. But it was like it wasn't until August that I actually did believe that it was true.
Mhm.
So you were
I
a
see.
former
Atheist.
atheist. Okay.
Yeah, but I was an atheist up until August.
Got it.
What were you raised as?
Nothing, just an atheist, really.
Oh, you were okay.
Yeah. Like, I have like Catholic and Christian family members, but my two parents, they were mainly atheists, so. Or I'd say an agnostic would be a better term for one of them. Like, but yeah, basically atheist.
Okay. All right. So you're saying the main reason for your belief in what denomination of Christianity are you, brother?
I currently don't really have at the moment, I won't really go under a denomination because I haven't actually
Right.
like been long enough. So yeah, I won't
So
really.
like non-denominational.
Yeah, at the moment
Okay.
anyway.
Uh, okay.
Non-denominational young Earth creationist.
Yep.
So how should we start this? Does anyone have any questions or like for Vigilant, or does you have any questions for anybody else or?
I don't really have any questions because I don't really know exactly what I'd ask you because, as I said, I used to be an atheist and there's nothing really which I could ask.
Okay.
Like, I could do the typical why you're an atheist, but then I know exactly why you'd say.
Right. Um. Let me see. What would be a good question? Do you have any questions for Vigilant Small Town?
Not really. Um,
I mean, I guess we
see,
could ask. Do you find okay, let me rephrase it. Do you find Are you one of those Christians that believe that there's evidence for God, or do you believe it's more of a faith-based thing?
Right.
Like it's more emphasis on faith.
First of all, when you say evidence, I don't really. I'd say like for God, as in like God as like a typical thing. I won't exactly
Right.
say for that in itself because it's as I've said, it's really impossible to disprove. But I won't really say it's that possible in a way to prove that it's there. But what
Right.
I could say is there are various like I'd say the proofs of Christianity in itself, such as well, the
Okay.
one of them, as I said then, which lured me into it was prophecy, I'd say, and another one I'd say there's like a few historical. I've not looked into this too much, but a few historical documents and stuff like that, and various other things. Because when you've done like research, I've not looked too deep into that yet. But yeah, I
Right.
think there are proofs out there that it is true.
You said prophecy. What type of
Go on.
prophecy? Can you give me some examples of prophecy?
Yeah, well, first of all, what you have to understand is the Bible. It's speaking like metaphorical terms. So there's one of them. In the Book of Revelation. It speaks of beasts. It doesn't. It's not speaking of actual beasts. It's speaking of countries and nations. In Revelation, and one of these is the Vatican. Now, the Vatican is actually the world's smallest. It's actually considered a nation, apparently, according to this thing. So, and it speaks of
Right.
one which would quote. It would like have been mortally wounded, but then it'd somehow miraculously heal, and it would persecute the Christians heavily. Well, that is exactly what happened, as the Catholic Church would actually go around killing everyone who wouldn't convert and slaughter them. And then it was actually damaged to the point where nobody thought the Vatican would return until it quote got miraculously healed. Now another one is
Are you speaking? Are you speaking of the schism of 1054, like when
Go on.
the East and West split? Is that what you're referring to?
What's that? Nah,
Like you,
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I think yeah, when the Catholic Church was
because like what specific event in history are you referring to? Because
specific
that
event.
is quite a.
Yeah, well, I won't say a specific event. What I'm talking about is I saw something where
It's
the
fine. You can gather your thoughts. I'm just curious.
I would say a specific event, say a multiple event, such as number one, the persecution. Number two,
Okay.
when the Catholic, I think the Vatican was like done with, because apparently they didn't have a pope for how many years? I don't know. I heard something like that. And then eventually they made a return.
So, all right, your claim is that the Bible is, according to this example,
Yeah,
it has prophecy
yeah.
because of the persecution
No, I'm not.
versus.
I'm not saying that is the like. I saying that is one of the prophecies. That's what I'm saying. That's one
Uh,
of them.
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I said the example. Like this is one of the
Yeah,
examples of the
yeah,
prophecies.
yeah. One
So,
of them.
according to this example, you're saying that the Catholic Church was mortally wounded. Like, for example,
Yeah. Metaphorically, anyway.
yeah, that's what.
Yeah.
Yeah, metaphorically. Uh, okay.
Oh yeah, and I'd also
So,
like to add there's one more thing: the third temple in Israel in Jerusalem, which is actually going to be built very soon. It speaks of that in the end time. So yeah, just wanted to add that.
let me see here. So, what can you give me some examples of like specific events that I know it's a
Yeah.
strain of multiple events. Could you give me some events that basically reinforce your claim?
Right. Well, first of all, do you want me to be with that specific thing? Because I actually don't know too much about that specific prophecy, but I know some about others, such as, for example, it speaks of the Jewish were actually forced out of Israel, but it wasn't that long ago, about 50 or 60 years ago, I think it was, when they actually found themselves returning to Israel, and when it actually became the state again, and then.
Well,
Wait, one sec.
what constitutes the difference between a justified prediction and a prophecy? Like, for example,
Go on.
I'm just like
Yeah.
before we move on, I just want to clarify. Would you define meteorology as prophesying?
Well, anything that would say that the Bible would say. Nah, I wouldn't say it's prophesying. I get what you mean, but what
I
say
mean,
is
they're pretty accurate. I mean, like to predict the weather of
yeah.
a very
Well,
evolutionizing.
I wouldn't really call it prophecy as such, because for example, when you're predicting the weather, you're using that with
So
like.
okay, so when you're making a prophecy, you're not using. Let's see, for example, you were talking about how it said the Jewish people would be
Yeah.
exiled or would be in
Yeah.
a diaspora.
And then return.
What were the political conditions of Rome during the first century?
Well, right.
So I mean, like, you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand
Once
that
you
part.
examine, some things can be, for example,
Not too great.
predictions of, like, for example, I predict in the future, tensions between North Korea and the U.S. will increase.
Yeah, I understand that part. Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough.
Right. So
Well-
I'm trying. What I'm trying to understand is, where would I draw the line between what is a prophecy and what is a prediction? Because if a prophecy can be labeled a prediction, it doesn't make it, that much of a miracle or wonder.
Well, well, as I said, whenever I speak of the Bible, I'd speak of prophecy because back then, you've already noted the political things, but then again, they couldn't have really said that the Jewish would have ended up there because at the time, a lot of people thought the Romans would have actually been in charge for quite a while. So I don't think they could have actually predicted that they would have returned to
Right.
Israel. But there's another thing which is spoke of a third temple, which says they'll rebuild it. But that was 2,000 years ago when they said it would have been, and now they're actually rebuilding it. Like there's actually the government of Israel are actually considering rebuilding that exact temple. So
Well, I could take that same statement and explain it in this way.
Go on.
The reason, this is just conjecture. I'm just giving conjecture right now.
Yeah.
The reason that they're building a temple is due to religious pressure of Judaism. For example, if Judaism, the temple is the main, landmark of Judaism.
Yeah.
And if it's not built, or if it's not, that can lead to religious pressures.
Yeah.
So that can easily be explained via natural reason. You don't have to use prophecy. You could say, for example, people, I've heard this in the news, they were considering moving the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem. What type of conflicts do you think that would occur if that happened?
Probably quite.
Like the Muslims, the Baha'is, the Armenians,
well,
the Jewish people.
There are already quite a lot of conflicts there already, so it'd probably just increase the conflicts.
So if you already know there's a tense amount of religious pressure in Israel, and you know that Judaism is a staple religion in Israel, wouldn't logic dictate that they would try to build a temple? Because you prophesying something that would probably that much weird. I don't want to, step on what you're saying, but I'm just giving my opinion.
Well, yeah, that's fair enough. Well, yeah, I understand that, but what I'm trying to say is that it's the exact temple. But anyway, as you said, that could be applied as well. But then again, it did also predict the amount of division and such like that. Oh yeah, and if this makes you think of something, it also predicted the LGBT agenda and various things like that. So,
well, that's to be honest, that's been existing for a while. That's not LGBT. You mean transgender and things like that?
No, I mean it predicted the sudden uprising, the agenda in it. Like when you see people pushing for it, like.
Well, that's always been something that's been existed. That's existed since.
They used to slaughter people for it. I do not think they've been promoting like.
No, for example, a lot of based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
In a lot of I believe Greek or. For example, Greek and Roman leaders were bisexual.
No, right.
And I'm not.
Yeah, go on.
So homosexuality has always been a thing. It's never been something new. Are you talking about the acceptance of homosexuality?
Yeah, I'm speaking about the acceptance. That's what I mean. That's what I'm about.
So you're saying is the Bible states that the acceptance of homosexuality will increase, not that homosexuality will increase.
Yeah, that's what I'm on about. The acceptance and
okay, because that's
the push for it in media and stuff like that.
Are you referring to the quote where it says man will lie with man, or like something?
It says it will be in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's the reason why. Oh God, bam, yeah, destroyed them two cities. Well,
so it's could you provide if you could find it? Could you provide the quote so I can see it? You can just type in the verse We have a Bible bot on here, so you can just type in the verse.
One sec. Wait a minute. I'll click on the website because I'm not sure which exact verse it is, but I know it's in Revelation.
Okay, no problem.
But I can't remember the exact verse. So I'll click on Bible or something, and I'll type the thing in on there.
Okay. Does anyone else have any?
I think it also. I'm not sure if this is exactly true, but because I saw this, but I'm not sure if it was just referring to that. But it also says, "And man would lie with strange flesh," and the Bible does speak of that when it speaks of homosexuality.
Well, that's referring to. That doesn't refer to the acceptance of homosexuality.
Yeah,
That
no, but
refers to,
I mean,
yeah.
like, it does refer to the acceptance, but as I said, it does also refer to the increase. But I know
Okay.
these.
I suspect this was sold by Amazon. Apparently, it's by Amazon. Sold by these people.
All right. Does anyone else have any other statements? Like Angst, Hal, Raven, Joe?
It's not really a statement. It's more of a question.
Yeah.
I put it into the chat, but basically I wanted to know how the Vigilant Soldier knows that his interpretations of the Bible are correct, particularly on things that Christians tend to differ on, like what they might call prophecy means.
All right. Well. Well, prophecy. Yeah, I don't really. To be honest, I've never actually seen people differ on the prophecy thing, unless you're on about like there are some people who take the Bible for literal means, but I think we all know that can't be true because there are not a load of dragons roaming about.
Well, I mean, if let me give you an example. If a Christian were to believe such strange things,
Yeah,
and they were to claim that it was a prophecy,
yeah.
then how would you explain that away? Because according to
Yeah.
them, the Bible is the divine word of God, and that would actually eventually be a proven prophecy.
Yeah, well, 1 second. I think I'm out to find the quote, by the way. But right. So you're on about how would I define the prophecy? Like, my interpretation would be correct. You're saying, is that what you're trying to say?
Right. That's yeah, practically.
Right. 1 sec. Just. Well, the. 1 sec. Someone's name. Right. So basically, specific events have happened up to now, and that's how I can tell like if the. 1 minute.
So I guess I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. No. 1
Getting
second.
your thoughts together, but there are Christians who think that the beast that's talked about in Revelation referred to, say, Nero.
It's referring to what?
Nero, the Roman emperor.
Well, I'll actually look into that, but I've never actually heard of that. 1 sec.
Okay, but although you've never heard of it,
Yeah.
how do you know that your interpretation is correct and
Well,
that is not?
Well, I was saying according to my like research, like in my personal thing, that's what I'd say. But I'll look into that actually, to be honest, because I've never actually seen it. So if when I've seen into that, then I'll say. But up to now, I'd say from my research up to now, I've been led to that. That's all. Right.
So according to your personal research, that's what you've concluded.
Yep.
Okay.
Looks like I'm trying to find this quote. Oh, that's it. It says it as it were in the days before the flood, and as I've said, that's one of the reasons why I did it. Wait. It's Matthew chapter 24.
All right. Let me type in the
verse
Matthew 24.
Verse 38. That's one of them, but there is another. I'm sure I've seen another. There is another which says something else, but that's one of them.
That according to this verse, you said Matthew 24:38.
Yeah.
For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying, giving in marriage, until the day when Noah entered the ark. What does that have to do with
No,
is
I'm
that
saying that's one of them. That's one of them. That's not the actual verse. What I'm saying is that in the days before the flood.
side note of what like of the verse you found?
Yeah, one sec.
Okay.
It says as it were in
Alright.
the names. I'm trying to find it.
I don't think the Bible ever says that part of the reason was
No,
homosexuality.
no. It says as it were in the days of Solomon. All right, if you're about the flood. All right. Well, speaks of strange flesh. Unless I'm thinking of the Sodom and Gomorrah, there is definitely a Sodom and Gomorrah. 1 minute. Or Sodomites. That's what I'll type in.
Well, Ezekiel gives the iniquities of Sodom, and homosexuality wasn't one of them.
Wait, what do you see? So, go on, say it. Ezekiel gives what?
According to Ezekiel, Sodom, the iniquities that Sodom was destroyed for was stuff like inhospitality and
Yeah.
not taking care of the poor. And it doesn't say that.
They play into it.
The Bible never says homosexuality was part of the reason it was destroyed.
1 sec. There we are. Well, I'll find that now, actually. Homosexuality Bible verse, there we are. There we are. So, it's mentioned in Genesis, 1 sec. Chapter. Right.
How could Genesis mention something about Sodom?
No, because
I
it's in the
think
book it's in the book of Genesis when they were destroyed.
I think he's talking about like with Abraham.
Yeah, actually, it's about Abraham.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because Genesis, as I've read before,
Yeah.
it includes not just the creation story, but also stuff about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Oh, here we are. It says, wait, now this is the sin of your sister Sodom.
The Sodom and Gomorrah events happened after all the Genesis stuff, so
No,
it
it
couldn't.
happens during Genesis, the book of Genesis. It happens during the book of Genesis.
Yeah, I think he's talking about like the Genesis story of the creation and like beginning.
Yeah, the story.
And versus the Genesis book. The Genesis book still has some events that happen quite later on.
Yeah, I'm on the book. I'm on the book.
All right, so you can just type the verse into the voice chat, and then it'll pop up.
I'm looking for the exact verse right now.
And also, do you have any other Christian friends that'd be interested in our discussion server? Or
right, well, yeah, actually, I might actually. Yeah, 1 sec. I'll get in touch with him. There will be at least one because one was talking before and he wanted to. You'll have to download Discord though, so. 1 sec. I'm just messaging now.
yeah, take your time, man. You can take it. I got.
Yeah, I'm just.
Probably have to go within the hour though, but
yeah, so
I'll be back on.
Well, I've just messaged him and. Right, 1 sec. Let me find the exact bit. He says, "Now this was the sin of your sister." Hospital arrogant, concerned. They were. Right, 1 sec. Well, I found a different page because this one's too long and I can't bother reading. Right, so part 3 of the series posts on homosexuality.
Can you let me know by like 8 o'clock?
We find the actual verse.
Hey, take your time, man. Don't stress about it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I know. I was just on some website, then it was just taking forever though. It just loaded text.
it done, babe?
Yep.
Did you
All right, cool.
dead ones? I don't know.
Start the clips. I unplug it. Like, I don't really have.
I know, so you can't go unless.
Well, I can, but like.
What are you going for? You're gonna pay me.
I get paid on Sunday.
Twitter or the podcast Monday.
Find what they want about.
Applications and
You can find biblical support. One outside enough you can find it. Use religious. Jesus.
Are we waiting on people?
I'm just getting the right Genesis 18. Wait, all the context. Well, let me look at the actual verse before I show it to you, because I'm not actually sure if this verse. Genesis 18:16. Yeah. I did God's will. Here we are. So Jude. Alright, it's not in Genesis when it's actually found. That's why.
Okay, you can just post it when
Yeah,
you're ready.
I'll post it now. Right. Let
Okay,
me
let me
find.
check.
I'm gonna read my actual verse for myself before I post it.
Okay.
Because just to make sure I don't post anything stupid in there. Right. So. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them like manner, giving themselves as fornication. Yep. So it's Jude. It's the book of Jude, verse. Well, it's just one chapter, so yeah, verse 7. So I'll find it. I'll put it in now.
Okay.
Because whenever it speaks of strange flesh, it's speaking of the homosexuality. So what's that? What you say? You had a Bible bot?
Yeah, all you have to do is type in the verse, and then it'll post the verse, and you can just
So for example, all what I do is type in Jude 1:7.
Yeah, practically that's all you have to do. Preferably in the voice chat channel.
All right, I just clicked it on the actual thing, and it just randomly. One sec. One sec, I'll go on the voice chat channel now. is I typed it into the actual bot, but how would I actually like send it now? Right, wait.
All right, take your time, man.
Yeah. Right. All right.
I'll be also
I'm
okay.
I'm confused now with this thing. Right. I
So
clicked.
basically, let me show you. I'm gonna post something in the voice chat. All right, see how I typed in the verse and then it popped up?
So wait. So what I should? Oh right. So I should just type the verse. Oh yeah, that makes sense. That.
Yeah.
All right, because I kept clicking the actual bot.
Ah, okay.
There
Okay,
we are.
let's see what this says. All right, let me read it. Just as Sodom and Gomorrah and the surrounding cities, which likewise indulged sexual immorality and pursued unnatural desires, serve as an example for undergoing a punishment of eternal fire. Uh, to my understanding, this
Yeah.
only says that. Hold on, let me see.
Oh yeah. By the way, when it says unnatural desire, that it speak of the homosexuality, because in the
Right.
original translations it was actually said like after strange flesh, and they'd speak of this when they're speaking of stuff like homosexuality.
I don't really see anything about prophecy here. All this is telling me is that,
Yeah, but
due to the fact that
yeah.
Sodom and Gomorrah indulged in sexual immorality, they were examples of punishment of hell.
Right. Well, one sec. Let me. Yeah, I think it's what the actual book is about. Let me grab me the book now. Let me.
Now, if there's a whole chunk of passage, just tell me if there's more context.
Well, it's only one chapter, the actual thing. So one minute, because you think from what I remember when I was reading it, I think it actually spoke of the.
But according to this, I don't see where it says that.
Oh,
I do.
Go on.
I don't see where it says that the acceptance of homosexuality will increase, or even that homosexuality will increase at all. It just tells me that Sodom and Gomorrah are an example of the punishment of hell.
First of all, it said even as it will. I'm reading it from my Bible right now. What I'm saying, it says even as, because what the verse says before it is, and the angels which kept not the first. That part isn't. It said left their own habitation. He left.
So if there's more context, you can post more than that verse.
Right.
I want to see the whole context so I can see what we're working with.
Right, because well, first of all, because it speaks of the judgment day, and right, first of all, I'm going to type a bunch of verses in now. This one itself, which I put a type in, this is not the one which. I mean, it's just the one before it, which is going to give you a tiny bit of context, but this one isn't that relevant. It is sort of, because it speaks of the judgment day. But anyway, let me find the second one, because.
Listen to the whole chapter. Okay.
1 minute, I'm finding multiple ones because I need to find one which speaks. Wait. Let me read the entire thing first. Jude the servant.
Okay, take your time. You can take your time. If I have to leave, because I might have to leave, you can just talk to small town.
Yeah.
Angst, Hal, whoever is present, and they'll continue the conversation.
Which it was needful for me to write to you. Blah 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 blah. There are certain condemnation. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though you once knew this. Likewise, also filthy dreamers. Actually, wait, that's not right. Wait 1 sec, I'm just clicking the.
No problem.
Oh my. Oh man, look at this.
What's up? Oh, you add your own
Oh,
custom. Oh, okay. Could you possibly make one for me?
I could
How,
possibly.
how do you make one? Like, how do you? Actually, I can make
You-
it. It's fine.
Yeah, you just need to make the PNG file.
Yeah, all right. That's cool. Small town. What should my belt be, based on what you've heard?
I don't know.
I mean, what do you,
I put that up to Jack. He's the belt master.
Jack? Who's Jack?
Angst.
Oh, Anks. Okay. Yeah, Anks needs
What
like
is Hal? Is Hal a black belt?
I think Hal would be I don't know. I haven't heard him talk that much.
Hal is a black belt. Yeah.
Wait, Anks, what would I be? Based
I
on
don't
what
know. I
you
haven't seen you guys debate.
Oh. Can you listen in so I know what to put myself as?
I'll try, but it's probably not an easy judgment to.
That's no problem. I just put myself as orange belt for now, because that's what
Vigilant. What do you want? What belt do you want?
What?
belts are a measure of how good you are at debating.
It's my second
Practically.
debate.
You are a white belt.
Most of my debates have usually been online rather than like BC, so I'm better with text debates rather than who's that? Oh, how?
To be honest, and like whenever I'm on text, there's like always like 50 people who end up joining in, so I just end up getting angry because like there's 50 people going on, and it's like they're screaming down your ear.
Yeah.
It's just annoying.
Can I be heard now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Soldier, earlier you seem to indicate that you think that Christianity could be shown true without God being shown to exist. And
Yep.
I'm not understanding how that's possible, because if God doesn't exist, that entails that all of Christianity is false.
All right. No. I'm not saying that it's possible. I'm not saying that it's possible for like God to be not. I'm not saying that it's possible for God to not be real and Christianity to be true. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I wouldn't really say it's actually possible to prove that God himself is real, but I guess that if you did research, then you'd find certain evidence for Christianity, but which do not lie within the context of proving that God himself is real.
Well, I wasn't saying that you claimed that God could not exist in Christianity to be true. I said you seem to be saying that God can't be shown to exist, but Christianity can be shown to be true.
One second. Well, first of all, what I mean is like specific like other areas, because you could prove specific areas, and then once you've proven that specific area, then if you get what I mean, like not exactly you can't. I'm not saying you can find absolute proof, but specific things which are you could be proven, and then that'd give you an outcome.
So, okay. The question on the table is, well, let's step back a moment. Let's get to get to the basis of the problem.
Go on.
The thing is, your prophecy claim
Go on.
can be easily disregarded for like a prediction claim, for example.
Yeah.
Future, it will rain.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, like, there's various like there's quite a. I've not looked into all of the prophecies, but I mean, like from as I've seen, there's quite a number of them, and it's just like it feels like it's a bit more than a coincidence.
Well, even with those prophecies, you don't understand that like the people who wrote the Bible,
Yeah.
the authors were accustomed to Jewish tradition and Jewish, how you say,
Yeah.
political events at the time. For example, when they had that thing where it said, Jesus said,
who builds it. I'm
Right.
not sure if it's the Antichrist who actually builds it, but he's going to be the one who like.
So, but are you saying that Israel is currently building the temple to this day?
Well,
Are they
at the-
building the temple,
It's not
or are
even
they not?
built. They like did plan it. It's literally like being designed or whatever because they are actually
So okay,
preparing. They're preparing.
So okay, so they're not actually building it. They're considering building it. The temple.
Yeah, they're preparing to build it. That's what they're doing.
Well, every so often, somebody in Israel says that they want to rebuild it, or they have plans to rebuild it, and then
Right.
a bunch of stuff comes up in Christian news about it. But it's not even close to happening as far as any. It's just people expressing their desire to do so.
Yeah.
That's my read on it
Okay.
anyway.
Which I would agree. I mean, it's purely based on, emotional. Like, for example, the only reason they would want to build a third temple is for religious or cultural reasons. The pride of being an Israeli, or the pride of being
Mhm.
a man of Jewish descent, or woman for that matter.
Well, actually, recently in November, it was actually after the Donald Trump election. Just people have been asking Putin and Trump to build it, so I don't know. So they're.
I mean, even with this, the bottom line is that it's not really prophecy.
Well, you can say that, but I'm just saying. I'm just giving you an example. That was just an example.
Okay.
I think it might make sense. It might make sense, Vigilant. I don't know what you think about this, but for you to talk about your strongest prophecies, because this one doesn't seem strong, in the sense that you see something that you call prophecy, something's been talked about that's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
It's talked about in the Bible.
Yeah.
And then you can look forward 2,000 years and say, look, it looks like it might happen, but that's not actually necessarily. That's not that convincing to somebody who doesn't already buy into the other things that you believe.
And look at World War One, for example. I mean, with the end of World War One, Germany was not really in ruins, but in political despair and economical despair.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it would be safe to assume that they would try to rebuild the society in any means possible. So that we can say one day Germany will be rebuilt, and even though it was Nazism and what they did, the horrors that they did, we know for a fact that's what happened.
Yeah.
So giving a prediction based on surrounding evidence isn't necessarily a prophecy. But you can continue on. What other prophecies do you have in store?
All right, first of all, I spoke about that thing before about the Catholic Church. Well, let me just talk about that one in actual detail because I didn't go over it enough.
Okay.
1 minute. For a type in. Find it. Right, actually, 1 minute. Actually, here it is because it's something about the 666 as well because the Bible speaks of.
I may have to go soon. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go soon as well.
All right, no problem. Yeah. All right, no problem.
Here it is. There is something which is going to tie into it anyway because I'm trying to find the specific thing because there's some. Basically, I think the Vatican, the Pope has various titles, doesn't there? And yeah, I'm pretty sure you've heard that the number of the beast is 666.
Yeah, I know yeah. I'm aware.
Well, as I've said, the beast is a nation, and the Vatican's actually considered as a nation. Well, anyway, I think one of the titles. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I can't pronounce it anyway. But you can search up if you want. It adds up to 666. That's just one thing anyway. That's one evidence, as you could say, that is the beast I was talking about. But now I'll find.
What adds up to 666?
That's like numerology, though. That's not really prophecy.
No. What I'm saying is that the Bible predicts that one of the beasts of Revelation, the name will add up. The letters they will add up to 666. That's what I'm saying.
It predicts the letters of the name will add up to 666.
Well, in what language? First off, because the New Testament is written in Greek and also some parts of Aramaic. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
it says the Bible says things like his number is 666. I'm not sure it's so specific as to say the letters of his
yeah,
name will add up to 666.
but
yeah, but
let
that's what it
Vigilant
meant.
talk. Let him talk.
Anyway, yeah. So you're about the language Hebrew. Well, I've actually thought of that quite a few times, but if it says his name led up to that, and his name is like in the English language or whatever language it is, then that's his name. His name is not. Then I guess you could apply it to the Hebrew thing, but I'm speaking
So
is from the
okay. So
English terms.
this is based on English, correct?
And the Bible, and let's assume like those people, if this prophecy was true, let's say, then they would have known that the people today would have been speaking English. Not many people would have been speaking Hebrew. So if you understand what I mean, I guess that would play into it a
Well,
bit.
I mean that's purely that's purely conjecture. I mean, why would God base that only section, that only part of his, of his Bible to be interpreted in a West Germanic language?
No, what I mean is, because he says something like, I can't remember. Let me find the verse. He says something like, well,
Yeah, like Hal said, you can't apply Hebrew numerology to anything that's not Hebrew. That would be kind of, foolish to do so. That's like applying like Greek numerology to it isn't the same.
yeah, it's that way. One sec. Oh wait, let me find the verse.
You would yeah. If you were to like, for example, this would make more sense if you were to translate, for example, the Vatican's name in Hebrew
Yeah,
and then do it for that would make more sense
yeah. I
if you
guess you
were
could. I
going
guess you
from.
could apply that. Yeah, but 1 minute. I'll explain it. Let me just find this verse now.
Okay, I'll let you find. I'm just trying to like say a lot because I know I'm going. You're
Yeah,
going soon, so
yeah. I'm probably gonna be going like pretty soon anyway.
okay.
I'd say about. I'm not sure. I'm not giving a number. Yeah, soon. Right. So here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his name is 600. Three scores. Yeah, I'll put the thing in the thing now. 1318. I think that's the right one. This
Okay,
calls
take your
for.
time, man.
Now, here's the thing. It says it calls for wisdom and let them calculate it. But as I said, they would have known that most of the people right they would have been British. Not British. I mean like spoke English, whatever. And that the name would have been English. So if you understand what I'm trying
Well,
to say,
his name
Well,
isn't 666. That's his number. His For example, according to Hebrew numerology, certain you can't apply that to a non-Hebraic perspective.
yeah. And let me respond to that Hal guy because yeah, the Catholic Church isn't a man, but
when you sorry.
the leader like was a man. So yeah.
When you say most people would have spoken English, what do you mean by that?
No, I mean, the people reading the Bible today, like I think the most popular.
Not over the history of between when the Bible was written and now.
Yeah, English. I mean, until recently, like the British Empire, English wasn't as common as you'd think when the Bible was being spread. The most common lingua franca would be, Koine Greek, or or Latin a little bit after.
Right.
So,
Well, that's fair enough, I guess. But I'm speaking of like today.
but
But yeah, if
let's
that's
tackle the claim that you said about his name. Are you talking about a specific pope, or who are you talking about when you talk
no,
about
I'm not. I'm not. I'm,
666?
I'm not speaking of the specific pope. I'm speaking of like the title of the Vatican.
But the Vatican isn't a man.
Yeah, I know it's not a man, but right. First of all, let me find it. That was it.
Huh.
Because first of all, let's say his number is 666. The Bible doesn't actually speak of like. Yeah, it's speaking of man. They speak of the man as the leader, but what I mean is the beast itself is not a.
But
It's
did
not a
you?
man.
Okay.
It's like a nation. Like, that's what I've seen according to my research.
So
Anyway.
then you translate the Bible in what respect? Like, how do you know that does not mean man?
Right. Well, first of all, why did we? Let me find the actual website. Because, as I've said multiple times, I speak of like metaphorically, and I've seen such
Okay.
thing. Let me find it.
But even if you were to take it to a metaphorical stance, I don't see anywhere in that passage where it says it's a anything other than a man, unless there's further context.
Yeah, there's further context. I'm gonna find it now.
Okay, take your time. I'm multitasking, so I'll be fine if you take a bit to get your stuff. I'll be right back.
If you want, I'll just post a link in the thing to a website, which basically, if you scroll, click on the page, it'll. You don't have to read it right now, but I mean, like later on, you could. It would explain to you.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Wait, where'd you post it, in voice chat?
I'm not posted it yet, but I'm just reading it through quickly first, just to see
Okay, cool.
if it's.
Let's see here.
Well, let me
Number
read it
5.
quickly.
Someone left. Oh, that was small town, I think.
Well, the four species represented the slain man. That's too long. Can't be bothered reading that.
Oh, man, let's see something. Is he still streaming it? Let me see if he's still streaming. Maybe. I don't even know.
Well, I'm just relating to this one. It's speaking of actually of the United Nations and stuff like that. But that's like one of the beasts. But I'll give you that link. But that's just to show you that the beasts aren't men. That one.
I'll take a look at it.
I'm gonna go in a minute anyway because I have to go. But
Okay.
I'll put a link in there first.
Oh, you have to go now?
In like 1 minute or something, but I'm gonna put a link in there before I go.
Okay, no problem.
Alright. There we are. So I'm just gonna I'll put the link address in there, but then I'm gonna have to go in a sec anyway. So yeah.
Okay, no problem. All
There's a link. So yeah.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
Alright, now I'm gonna go anyway. So yeah, see you in a bit.
All right, see you. Are you gonna be on
Good
later
talking.
or?
I might not, but it's like 11:30 over here, like at night, so
Ah,
probably
okay.
won't.
All right. All right, no
Ah,
problem, man.
so I'll go on another time, whatever.
All right.